here. In WWE news, Rey Mysterio Jr.'s contract has reportedly expired, and he's now working for WWE without a contract. So I guess he's technically a free agent. WWE has also had increased COVID numbers, according to both Pro Wrestling Sheet and the Wrestling Observer. We reported a few weeks ago their numbers were around 30. Now it appears the numbers are around 40. WWE brought back Heath Slater on Raw tonight, which goes to show you maybe they brought him back because they're a skeleton crew right now because a number of wrestlers have tested positive for COVID. Who knows? But Slater is still under his no-compete clause. So from what I understand, for all the wrestlers that were released in April, they're still technically under contract until something like July 18th. So they're still getting paid. As much as everyone feels bad for these guys, they've been getting paid this whole time. I believe Slater, from what I saw, had like a $400,000 a year contract, which is a lot for someone of his popularity. So who knows? They might be bringing him back, or they might just have used him for an appearance because he's still technically under contract. It also came out today that SummerSlam is taking place from the Performance Center this year, not Boston, because of the whole COVID-19 pandemic situation. Vince McMahon originally wanted to start having shows in front of crowds in Florida this month. He had a couple shows planned in Lakeland, Florida. However, those shows have since been canceled, and it doesn't appear like anytime this summer there's going to be any live WWE shows in front of crowds, and probably not AEW either, other than maybe like they were doing before, having like the people at the Performance Center, friends and family and developmental wrestlers in the crowds. That's about it for the news today. I did confirm today, next week, Raven is going to be doing a shoot interview with me. And Rudy Boy Gonzalez, who was the head trainer of Shawn Michaels' Texas Wrestling Academy, he trained Daniel Bryan, Lance Cade, Spanky, and many others. He's going to be doing an interview with me this Wednesday. I posted that in my YouTube story. If anyone wants to give me a question, suggestion, put it in the comments on there. I'm still going to do the Warlord one once his situation, his personal situation gets better. Right now, his father and daughter have COVID. So for the people that are saying hoax, I clearly don't think the Warlord is lying to me that his father and daughter are sick. What I do believe, which we've seen, is if you're healthy, it seems like the vast majority of healthy people are recovering. Yes, there's 40 people under WWE contract that have apparently have COVID, but it's safe to say none of them are going to die. So as far as the danger, if you catch it, it doesn't seem to be as bad as originally reported, unless you're older and have a history of health problems. But as far as a complete hoax, I don't believe that, because there's people that have it. I don't personally know anyone. The numbers in Canada are very low, but for some reason, the province I'm living in is still in total lockdown, which kind of sucks. Someone's asking me, am I Tommy Dreamer? No. I'm a lot better wrestler than Tommy Dreamer, and I'm a lot less of a behind-the-scenes politician than Tommy Dreamer is. Probably Tommy Dreamer's greatest skill is his politicking. Vicky Ross says, New Jack mentioned me on Vlad TV. Woohoo. Have no idea what that is. Stevie Gunn 84 says, thanks for all I do. Loves the channel. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate all the viewers. We're almost at 200,000 subscribers, and we're at 120 million video views, which I'm really happy. Someone says a Ken Patera shoot would be interesting. It would. He's on my list. I was looking forward to going to Minneapolis this summer and interviewing a bunch of people, but I don't think the border between Canada and the US is going to be open till at least the fall, the way things are going right now. Ivan Santos, have I ever wrestled in Japan? No, they're afraid of me. I pinned AJ Styles 2 times when he was New Japan Pro Wrestling IWGP champion, and they're afraid of me. That's all I can say. They're afraid of me in Japan. They're chicken. Maybe it's because both of my grandfathers fought in the Second World War, and we kicked Japan's ass. So I have it in my blood. I'm a Japanese ass kicker. Ethan Wilkins, do I play video games? My video game play ended with the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. I think I had the 32X, the thing you would install in your Sega, but no. Michael Classic says, I'm the man, Hannibal. Thank you. Ralph Vaquero says, the world is a mess. Yes, I agree. The world is a mess. It really sucks. Did I ever work with Joe Doring? No. Thank you for not letting WWE be the only source of wrestling history. Yes. And I am a good source of wrestling history. I'm a more neutral source in WWE. And if you look at some of the interviews I've done, like with Rocky Johnson and Nikolai Volkov, for instance, they've both passed away. And I don't think there's any other shoot interviews in existence with either of those guys. If there is, I don't know about it. But documenting history is one of the things I do. And I thank everyone that tips me on here or subscribes to patreon.com/the Hannibal TV for only $1.99 a month. Helps support me, helps me get interviews like the one next week with Raven. And you can also support us. Here's one of our Great North Wrestling shirts. You can buy these if you just look down. We have a Teespring site. We do have Great North Wrestling and the Hannibal TV merchandise. We are continuously making more, and anyone that has t-shirt designs that they want to send us, send them to greatnorthwrestling@gmail.com. Robert Ronman is making a joke here about AJ Styles getting beat by me. Who is my favorite wrestler? Justin Steele says. I would have to say Ric Flair is probably up there. I think the fact that what I admire about Ric Flair, as I said, is we have got so many wrestlers that, like Kevin Owens, taking 2 months off for a sprained ankle, for example, and then not showing up now because of COVID. Ric Flair was still on TV last week. I mean, just his work ethic, so many years, he wrestled almost every night of the year. And even now in his 70s, even with the risks of COVID, he's still been appearing on WWE TV. So I admire Rick for his work ethic. Got to admire that. Rat stories I don't talk about because I'm not single, and that's going to get me in nothing but trouble. But I think I may have had more from being a bouncer than a wrestler. Although, I've had fun. Is Piper Poodle sleeping? Let me see here. Piper, you're being requested. She's right here. She'll say hi as I sign off. Victor Murphy tipped me $6.66. What metal bands have I been listening to recently? I love the 666 tip. I still like the old school metal the best. I listen to pretty much anything. Steve Austin's daughter actually recently sent me a playlist of all of her favorite workout metal songs, and those are pretty good. I don't want to leave any out, so I won't get into the list. You're recommending Infernal Hails, so I will check them out. Victor Murphy, metal is definitely my favorite type of music, and I appreciate the support from a fellow metal lover. So thanks again, Mr. 666, Victor Murphy. I'm going to drive to Quebec because the gyms are still closed here in Ontario, but at least they're open 24 hours in Quebec starting today, so I don't have to rush anymore. But I'm going to go pump some iron right now, be prepared.